President-elect Trump and the new Republican-controlled Congress promising a quick repeal of Obamacare, but they haven't yet announced any detailed plan for exactly how they're going to replace it, leading to questions about how easy it will be to unravel a very complex system that has been in effect for several years. Joining me now is Gene Marks. He's a CPA with the Marks Group and a columnist for The Washington Post. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, Heather.
So we just heard the president-elect say, you know, we're not going to spend $5 billion or what on a website, but do they know much beyond that as to what they're going to do?
Yes and no. It's a very tough thing to talk about right now because we've gotten different ideas from different people in the Republican Party. We know that on the Democratic side, Chuck Schumer, who's the minority leader, is vowing to fight anything that happens. And don't forget, no matter what the Republicans want to do, the Democrats have 48 votes in the Senate. They only need 3 to really kind of block any type of big-time legislation. So it really has to be something bipartisan, Heather. So, you know, there's one thing for sure. You and I both know they are going to repeal Obamacare. That is without a doubt that is going to happen. Too many promises have been made, you know, for that. The issue is whether or not they're going to repeal it without a plan in place, or if they actually are going to just have a repeal with a plan in place, something that they're going to defer this implementation. My bet is they are going to do just that. I mean, they'll repeal it. But they're going to have some kind of plan in place to, you know, to sort of implementation over a period of time.
Chuck Schumer, you mentioned him. He had an interesting quote about all this. He said that the Republicans are like a dog that caught the bus. So now they don't know what to do with it. I like that quote. But okay, so you have 6.4 million people who are now under Obamacare. You had the White House announce that an additional 400,000 people signed up, or it was 400,000 newly enrolled Americans over the same period last year. So now that the numbers are increasing, will that give Republicans pause when it comes to replacement?
Yeah, and not only that, remember, you know, the Kaiser Family Foundation, who follows all things healthcare, they just had a poll that came out after the election that showed that only 26% of Americans actually favored a repeal of Obamacare. So all of these factors are coming into play to give the Republicans, like you just said, a pause to figure out what they want to do. Here are some things that they definitely have some consensus on. So for you and I and our health insurance, for you know, people that are trying to figure out how it's going to affect them, next year, whatever happens, pre-existing conditions, that's got bipartisan support that's going to remain. People that have pre-existing conditions are going to continue to get coverage. Kids that are living, you know, up to the age of 26 with their parents, there's bipartisan support to make sure that remains in the new bill. But after that, it really is a question of whether or not block grants are going to be given to the states for Medicaid, whether health savings accounts, if we can open up our own individual health savings accounts.
And a big question, though, is the timing, also the timing of when any of this would be implemented. And that's one of the things that people fear, that all of a sudden all these folks are not going to have health insurance, but that really is not the case.
It's not. So, and the bottom line is this, and what we're telling our clients, for 2017, we're not going to see a whole lot of changes in our health care coverage. Rates are locked in. They're a lot higher than they were just a couple of years ago, but they are locked in. The big change that we're going to start seeing will be in 2018, and you're absolutely right about the timing. What is going to happen, not this year in 2017, how are the effects of any changes going to affect us the year after? And that's still up in the air. We have to keep a close eye on it.
Yeah, you mentioned the 26% of people who want to repeal it. You can add to that, though, 17% who want to scale it back. So, you know, a lot of people want to see some changes, and we'll see if the new administration does that smoothly. Gene, thank you so much.
Sure, that's fine, Heather. Take care.
Sorry, got to wrap you up. Happy New Year.
No worries.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year to you.